like biggest month part-time, I want to say it was July. Just working part-time, I took home almost $11,000.
Damn, dude, $11,000 working part-time. That's freaking awesome, to say the least. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Closers Network podcast. Guys, the only podcast and the only community that you want to be a part of if you're looking to make between $10,000 and $30,000 per month as a remote high-ticket closer. And if you're interested in joining our free community, guys, there's a link below. It's the second link in the description, not the first one. The second link in the description to get access to 5 days of free live training inside of our school platform called the Closers Network. That being said, guys, I'm excited to introduce our guest today. Today's guest has been a certified personal trainer for over 25 years. He's actually owned a fitness studio for over 10 years. He's done business coaching with the great and powerful Bedros Keuilian. He's also been a member of Gym Lords and trained by the one and only Alex Hormozi. He's a massive believer in never quitting. He's a top closer at our sales agency, One Call Closers. Guys, please help me welcome Chris Meredith. Chris, welcome to the podcast, man. Thanks for coming down.
It's quite the introduction. Thank you.
So one of the things I'd love to start off with is, we've had to go through COVID, and unfortunately, you've had to shut your business down due to COVID, right? And you ran that fitness studio for 10 years. Would you mind walking our listener through what was the mindset required to come out of that and just kick ass like you are, man, closing deals like you do on the closing side of things?
Well, the initial situation was once it closed, I mean, that was literally my purpose. I was working 16 hours a day, doing it for 10 years. And it was like when that was gone, something was missing. So about a year and a half of putting on a little bit of weight, having some bad habits, just not really feeling like I had purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And just one day I walked past a mirror and I was like, oh my God, I went outside like this. Didn't brush my hair. I don't even know if I brushed my teeth that day. And I was just like, man, this is not the me that I know. What's going on here? So I decided I was going to get intentional, get back into, like hitting it hardcore with the exercise, get back on track with nutrition, because health first, right? Mm-hmm. When you don't feel right, health, anything else doesn't feel right. So got back into the exercise, got back into the nutrition, and then I've been personal training this whole time, like training clients 3 days a week, but it's not an impact.
Right.
And my whole thing with the gym was I want to create impact. I want to impact the community. And you can't do that by staying in your comfort zone. And I'm not really comfortable doing podcasts.
Yeah.
But I said, hey, you know what? I got to get out of my comfort zone because nothing good happens in comfort.
Dude, that's so funny you said that. That's exactly what my last guest just told me, that they didn't feel comfortable, but they're all about overcoming challenges and doing the uncomfortable things, man. So, that's definitely a lot. And is there anything that you feel like translated from that world into this that you found that's been helpful for you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, with personal training, personal fitness, like I said, it's always been a passion of mine to be fit, but to help other people to be fit. Owning a gym every day was sales.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing changes until something changes. And the only way to change is to help somebody see that they're not happy with where they are, but they can be happy if they make or take action. And all the time that I was a personal trainer, it was like, oh, God, I hate sales. Oh, I don't want to do sales. I could never do a sales job. And then, Ian said, hey, man, are you still in the industry?
Mm-hmm.
You want a job? V-Shred? It's like, what would I be doing? He says, you'll be closing. You'll be helping people make decisions to get into fitness. And I was like, I never thought I would say it, but I'm like, hell yeah. Let's go change some lives.
Bam. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And it's so crazy because I've had so many guests on now that have similar backgrounds, and, COVID's kind of just affected everybody, right? And their livelihoods. And so it's crazy to see this transition, but it's allowed I think them and now me to have this opportunity to have this conversation and share, pivots and overcoming challenges and, the mindset required to go through that, right? As opposed to just throwing in the towel and doing nothing about it. So I think that's really powerful. What's been the most challenging aspect to you about this journey? As far as transitioning from opening and operating a gym to just doing straight remote high ticket sales?
The most difficult part for me, honestly, is technology. Because technology is always changing. And it's not always my technology, but it's somebody else that I'm helping on a call.
Right.
To understand technology. So, it takes patience and it takes learning. Like, you can't stop learning.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What do you feel like has been the most rewarding part for you as a high ticket closer?
Gosh, there's a lot of rewards. I get paid to help people. If I want to get paid more, I work a little more, or I sharpen the socket a little bit better. On the other side, when I do close somebody, I follow their journey. So I reach out to people, say, hey, how's it going? I've got other peoples that are sending me messages, and it's like, hey, I just wanted you to know I'm down 17 pounds. I'm like, oh my God. I remember when we talked, you said that you had kept losing 10 and gaining 15, and then losing 10 and gaining 15, and you're down 17 now. So this is new territory. And they're like, oh my God, it's changing my life.
Wow.
It's like, cool. Well, what kind of life changes is that? And, people talk anything from being a better example for their kids to having a better relationship with their spouse. And some people are just like, hey, I can finally fit in the clothes that have been sitting in closet collecting dust. So,
dude,
it's really rewarding when people get back to you, even if you don't reach out to them. They just want to tell and share their story and how it's changed their life.
I love that, man. You getting me fired up telling me that, because that's one of the things I always tell people that I close. I'm like, hey, man, you're going to be in great hands with X, Y, and Z influencer or X, Y, and Z product, right? But hey, I just want you to know, like, I'm here for you too. Like, I'll be here as an additional resource every step of the way if you have any questions and need anything. Most people don't necessarily reach out all the time and bug me. Like, it's just how it is. But I love following the journey. And one of my favorite things is like getting that text, Mike, I got my first result doing this. I got my first sale doing that. Whatever the thing is I'm putting him into. So I really love the fact that you follow up and you follow their journey. I think there's a lot to be said about that. And I don't think a lot of salespeople do that. So to me, I appreciate it a lot. Dude, walk our listener through the time when you were younger and you basically thought you're going to impress your dad by doing 50 push-ups, right? Can you please share some of the lessons and walk us through that story, but also like share some of the lessons and takeaways that you had and maybe how that's possibly like impacted your mindset in sales?
Mm-hmm. Well, my dad was a construction worker. He was always just lean and built. And I was like, Dad, how do I get arms like that? So he says, hey, you know what? You do some push-ups, you do some sit-ups, shows me a couple of different exercises. And he says, go all the way down, go all the way up. Keep your back straight, keep your core tight, butt up in the air a little bit. No, not that far. He's always making adjustments to the form. And, he just got me started. I went and did the stuff on my own. And so I was worked my way up to 50 push-ups every morning, 50 push-ups every night, 50 sit-ups every morning, every night. And I think I was third grade at this point in time.
Jeez.
And so I was like,
Savage.
Dad, I can do 50 push-ups. So he says, show me. And he's got this look. I can't really say what it is, but kind of like, I think we're going to teach you something today. And so I get down there and I start just cranking them out. And some of the reps, like the elbows didn't come all the way straight. Some of the reps didn't come all the way down. And so I count 50 and he's like, that's 41.
Jeez.
I'm like, what are you talking about? I just did 50. I counted out loud. He's like, 9 of them were half reps. And he may have actually said that was half-assed bullshit reps.
Yeah.
But I was like, what are you talking about? Okay, fine. I'm just going to keep going. So I kept going. I ended up doing like 50, 59 or 60, something like that, but only counted 50. And I was kind of mad at that point. I'm just like, this is stupid. Yeah. I shouldn't have to do extra work. And he said, well, you don't have to do extra work if you do the job right the first time. And so, ultimately take pride in what you're doing, make every moment count, And then, of course, it was like, now that you've done 50 and you fully understand how to do them right, come back and tell me when you get 60. And so it was a little bit about do it right. You don't have to do it again. You're going to get better results doing that. Obviously, there's like the physical health of like, if you do it right, you don't hurt yourself. But it was like, just because you did something great doesn't mean you can't do better tomorrow or the next day. So it's always keep working to improve.
Jeez, gosh, there's so much wisdom and freaking power in what Chris just mentioned, man. So I think first of all, I love the fact your dad did that, because I don't think most parents, especially today, man, like instill that kind of a mindset in their children. So salute to your dad. Like I feel like that's amazing, and I think that probably shaped a lot of who you are maybe today and how you, like you said, you're operating your day-to-day mentality. So
definitely,
that's freaking awesome. How much does mindset affect closing abilities?
Oh my God, it's everything. I mean, you have to know what to do, but you have to be willing to do it. And if you are willing to push a little bit because you want to be comfortable and save yourself the anxiety of confronting somebody when they say something that's contradictory to what they've told you they wanted, like if you're not convicted, they just sold you on all the reasons they can't do something that they know they need to do.
Gosh.
And so if you're in the wrong mindset and saving yourself from, this like touchy-feely conversation that you may not want to have, it's like, if you stop, you didn't help that person. And like maybe 10% of the people are like, oh, you made an offer. Great. Let's do it. Here's the credit card. Let's go. But there's like 40, 50% more where if you just sit back, hear them out, and then reframe it. But you have to be able to like confront that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't confront their fears, if you don't confront their story that they tell themselves of why they can't do it, it's like my dad had a phrase, and it kind of makes sense, but very poor English. He said, can't do shit.
Can't do shit.
And basically he's saying, if you say you can't, you can't. If you say you can, but you have to believe in it. And if you keep saying you can't, you're going to keep believing you can't do it. So you have to help people overcome all of the stories of all of the I can'ts that they've had in their life from their childhood on. And sometimes that takes 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 30 times questioning them.
Getting clarity.
Yeah.
That's right. Dude, I freaking love that, man, because I'm a firm believer, just like as someone who's been in fitness for a very long time, right? You always tell people, or I always hear in the industry that it's 80% diet, 20% is working out, right? It's like 80% diet. I'm a firm believer that in sales, it's 80% mindset and 20% the skill sets that you need to do that. So I always say that. But if you didn't catch what Chris just said, he just gave you guys the freaking pathway to make a ton of freaking money. So you should go back and listen to that answer to the question again, because that is literally probably one of the best lines I've heard to help you make a ton of money and to be able to do that now. That being said, especially after hearing that, what kind of impact has sales had for you?
Well, sales is everyday life. Everyday life. You want to date a girl, you have to sell her. You have to close her on the idea. My wife, for example, close the deal there.
Yeah.
And, sales has had a profound impact. I've never really thought that I wanted to be in sales, but I realized at some point it's everything. It's helped, monetary freedom. I still don't take vacations because I'm always working, but I enjoy what I do. And it's given me purpose again. Because when I had the gym, I had purpose. When I didn't have the gym, I had no identity.
Right.
But this, especially, closing in fitness is it's like everything I did, everything I went through, every trial, every tribulation, it all led to this. And I made more money last year than I've ever made.
Wow.
Which was pretty freaking cool.
That's awesome, man.
And I'm only doing it part-time.
And you're doing it part-time? Jeez. Would you mind sharing what that looks like? Like as far as maybe your biggest month with one call closers? You don't have to get into the year if you don't want to.
Like biggest month part-time, I want to say it was July.
July.
Might have been last July. But I mean, just working part-time, I took home almost 11,000.
Sheesh.
Not bad at all.
Jeez, bro.
My other job pays for all my bills, so this is all kind of like just bonus.
Yeah. Damn, dude, $11,000 working part-time. That's freaking awesome, to say the least. That's incredible, man. Do you know what the most amount of deals you've ever closed in a day is? Like, as far as converting people in a day?
Well, I'm going to give a shout-out to Sammy No.
Sammy No?
Because he did 9.
He did 9.
Mine was like 8 in 2 days. So, but that was spread out over 2 days. He's crushing it. But I had this one day that people still apparently remember, and they remind me of it whenever I'm like, oh gosh, I'm having an off week. I signed up a lady. She did like a 2K pack. And then my next call had another great close. By the way, close on top of another close, on top of another close, you get momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And momentum, it's like the energy just comes out and it transfers to make those closes easier. But I closed 17 5K.
Wow.
And then the very next call was another one. And then my inbox is blowing up and I'm like, I don't know what I did. Yeah. I just offered it. Yeah. It happened to fit the person's need. And I think that's an important piece is anytime you're doing closing, like you have to have your prospective client's best in mind.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're going to be like, well, that's too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, there's this expense that you have to pay to get what you want. And then there's the cost of not doing it.
Right.
So what is it costing you if you don't do that?
What's the cost of inaction?
Exactly.
Damn, bro. I freaking love that. And you know what? I always tell, especially new closers that I train up and stuff, and we used to have an office here, a building that we're sitting in right now, and every time I'd have a new closer come in and I'm training them and everything like that, I tell them, the second best time to close a deal is right after that first one, baby. So, and riding that momentum that you talked about. So I freaking love that. I love this one. What are some of the sales lessons that you've maybe had to learn the hard way?
I've always known that good things don't really happen when you're comfortable. You have to press out of that comfort, but I always like to be comfortable. I'm lazy.
Yeah.
I've learned through sales, I'm lazy. I want to do the least amount of work possible to get the biggest benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, I've had to put my ego aside. Because I have one of those. You have to put your ego aside and get out of your own way sometimes. Because, I like to talk when somebody is interested in listening. But sometimes on calls, that person just needs to talk about them.
Right.
And I want to be smart. But really, all I have to do is just be interested. And
That's right.
And hear that person. I had a woman that I said, well, have you ever thought about coaching? She said, well, I talked to a couple personal trainers and I talked to this online coach, but I never really signed up. And I was like, why didn't you do that? And she says, I didn't feel heard.
Damn.
And that was like right after she closed. And I was like, so I helped you feel heard. Light bulb.
She felt understood.
Yeah. And like sometimes, just hearing somebody and then questioning upon what you hear to get that deeper level, it shows understanding. It shows that like this person actually cares about the answer. That helps. My wife always says, I don't feel heard right now. And I'm like, oh.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it, man. What do you feel like your sales superpower is?
Sales superpower. I don't know that I have a real superpower.
Who knows? Maybe it's being able to listen and not to be able to necessarily like talk, right? When you probably shouldn't be talking. That is a superpower to me.
It's a superpower. I'm not always good at it.
Okay. It's
But-
all about never-ending improvement.
But it's, yeah, like that. Exactly. Took the words right out.
Yeah.
Never ending improvement. And I think it's just, I'm stubborn to the point where if somebody says they can't do something, I want to prove to them that they can. And I will just keep going and keep going and keep going. Although sometimes people hang up on me.
Yeah.
But the people, I feel like for every one person that hangs up, there's 4 or 5 more people that would have done nothing, but left that conversation believing in themselves.
That's powerful. And that's so funny you said that, because we had we have Christian Urbina. He's been on the podcast before, and he's a guy who's super convicted, who's basically wants to show like, hey man, like what, like there was a time he was on the phone and he stayed on this call for like an hour and a half, and he's like not getting off the call, and neither is the prospect looking to get off. Like he's still like, they're having to dance back and forth. But at one point, Christian just asks him straight up, he's like, dude, why do I believe in you more than you believe in yourself? And the prospect like just like was stunned and didn't have anything to say. And he's like, my gosh, Christian, I just realized like you're absolutely right. That's my issue. I don't have the belief in myself. So I think what you're saying is so powerful, because I think people need to hear that. They need help getting out of their own way, right? And you're kind of almost like you're coaching them through, like almost like a fitness coach, but like a life coach too, right? At the same time, and helping them overcome some of these mental barriers and challenges. And I've certainly had people do that for me, and it's helped me out a ton, and I'm very grateful for it. So that's really cool. What is one piece of advice that you'd give maybe a newer rep, right, who's looking to see success in kind of like their first month in sales?
Watch this podcast.
Yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough. What's the most creative excuse you've heard a prospect say for not buying?
So this person starts out the call. I asked him the goal. He's like, I got to lose 100 pounds. I've got to do it because if I don't, I think I'm going to die within the next 3 years.
Jeez.
I say, okay, so this is like pretty serious, like right out the gate. We go through the conversation. By the way, if somebody tells you all this right out the gate, don't rush it. Ask questions, get all the details, have that full conversation. There's a reason that you have a syntax for the sales. I know you know this, but at the end of it, it turns out he wants to be around for his 16-year-old daughter. He's divorced from his wife. And, spousal relationships, when you divorce, I guess, maybe you don't like that other person or don't feel like they're as capable. And so he needed to be there for his daughter. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, you need to be there for your daughter. But when it came down to the close, and I had asked him, how much are you comfortable investing? Like, it can stretch you and that's okay, but it's not taking food off your table. What are you comfortable investing in a month or like month after month for a payment plan? And he says, it's got to be, under 175. We come up with the payment plans. We've got it at like 169 or something like that. So it was right under. And then he says, oh, but you know what? I got to buy a new lawnmower. And I was like, dude, what good is that lawnmower?
Yeah.
If you're not there to push it. And then he hung up.
No freaking way.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, that sucks.
So that's probably the worst experience. Like, I couldn't get back in the game that day. It's just like,
that's a tough one.
I had to work that out in my head. It was like life and death, man.
God, dude, I wonder like what's going on with that person's like mind to, like, even after going through the motions and sharing everything with you, it's like, well, I need to get the lawnmower, huh? Yeah. It's like,
but I mean, you can't help everybody.
Exactly.
People have to be ready to do the work. And that's people right. have to, I mean, it's a whole mindset. His mindset stopped him. He didn't believe he could do it, maybe.
That's a tough one because like that person needs the help more than ever, right? More than anyone probably talked to that day. And it's just like, you didn't even get the chance to talk to him after that. It's like, yep. That's what sucks. Any sales leaders or any sales thought leaders that come to mind, like living or dead, that you would maybe want to have like dinner with? And if so, like what would you ask them?
How's the ribeye? How's the ribeye goes for just about anybody. I mean, I've had dinner in group settings with, people that, mentors that have honestly kept me in the game. Bedros was one.
Mm-hmm.
I've never, ever had a bad conversation with him. Just, it's like, you always walk away feeling like you've learned something, like some secret.
He leaves you better than he found you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Alex Hormozy.
Yeah.
Like, I've never felt bad after, going and meeting with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And Rich.
Yeah.
Like, first time I saw him, it was last year at the quarterly summit. But I guess it's an annual summit. I think we just changed the name.
Yeah.
But it was like, I was walking behind him, and I'm just like, this guy looks really familiar. Oh, I work for him. And he just turns around and he's like, Chris? Chris Meredith? And I was like, holy crap, he knows my name.
Wow.
Like, Rich, whenever he walks into a room, it gets brighter.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like, and you do the same thing. You guys have this energy about you where it's like go-giver, I guess. Go-giver energy that just, like, whenever you walk away, you always feel like, I feel important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
that's awesome.
Honestly, any of the mentors, like Ian Weinberg.
Yeah.
Champions do more.
Champions do more.
And if you're working on being a champion, he always makes you feel like a champion. So I can't give credit to any one person. I can't say I would want dinner with one person. I'd say, get the whole table.
Yeah.
Get everybody around that table. And just, I don't even have to ask a question. I just want to be part of it.
Right.
Just getting the energy from it. Because the energy changes how you speak. And the way you speaks a lot louder than the words that you're saying.
Damn, dude, you're getting me fired up. Let's go. That's powerful. That's powerful stuff, Chris. Okay. So let's go. I got a couple more questions for you. So, do you recall what the most unusual or unexpected sales tactic that you might have used that's worked for you is? Like, is there anything you've done that kind of stands out that was different than your maybe day-to-day to close a deal?
There were a couple people who at some point said, like, I have to pray on it. And I just did this. Let us pray.
Let us pray.
It doesn't work every time.
Has it worked before, though?
It has worked before.
How many times would you say you've used that?
6.
You closed
out of all my years, I've used it 6 times. I've probably closed like 3.
Dude. So I've had the I need to pray about it one time, and at this time I was hoping I would get that. Because I was all into Grant Cardone at the time, and I had bought this book,
Yes.
right? His closer's like guide of how to like rebuttal, right? And one of them was like, I need to pray about it. What you say for that? And it was just like, well, hey, let's pray about it together, right? And so I literally did. I literally on the call. I prayed about it. I feel like at that time, especially, like my confidence was super high, and I had really had this strong connection with God, and I was going to church a lot, and like I was really good. I thought I was, at least. And dude, I prayed about it, and I didn't get it. It was the one and only time I tried it, and I was just like, damn, I wish I got it, but it goes to show I might have to try it another few times before I got one person to convert. I've had that come up a few times though. So that's really interesting, dude, though, that you've basically gotten some conversions from that.
Yeah, sometimes it's a smokescreen.
Yeah. Other
times people are just really literally like looking for guidance. And part of the setup to that is, what is your religion? I'm not here to judge. I'm not going to, push mine on you or whatever. But it's like, what is your religion? Is your body a temple? Or are you representing the image that you're borrowing?
Damn.
And then when it comes to the, like, I have to pray on it, well, how do you feel? How do you think your God feels about your current fitness, your current health? Like, you know what? Let's pray on that. I think they're going to probably tell you to, like, clean house, start
Yeah.
taking care of it.
Damn, bro.
But that's uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
Like you got to be like, you're committed at
Yeah.
this point. You can't wishy-washy it. You got to be like 100%, 110%.
Jeez. That's awesome. That's good stuff, man. I really appreciate hearing that perspective of things. Couple more questions for you. So, if there's one piece of sales advice that we haven't talked about today that you feel like could really be of value to our audience, what do you feel like you'd want to share with them?
I mean, I don't think it's a secret by any means, but I would just go back to the hearing the prospect. I mean, repeating stuff back to him is great, but if you repeat word for word, you sound like a parrot instead of somebody who's listening. So, try to have, you got to put things into your own words. You got to hear the person, and I'm not sure that this is the one that I want to give though, but like
you can add two, give two, give three. Yeah.
Don't be a parrot, like put yourself into their shoes, have an understanding, ask a question for deeper clarification on that, because interested, right? If you're interested, they're feeling heard. And when they feel heard, they like you. When they like you, they're automatically in a better mood because they feel more important. Because, they are important. They're our customer.
That's right. And on that note, like any final thoughts, anything that you want to share with the audience that you feel like we didn't get a chance to discuss yet?
I'm just excited for this weekend, excited to be here, and appreciate the interview. I already feel more energized.
Nice.
Than I did when I got off that red-eye flight.
That's awesome. That's good feedback for me. So that being said, man, I'm excited. I know we're going to be here tomorrow. We got the workshop going on, so I'm really looking forward to that. I always see your name on that top of the leaderboard, even doing it part freaking time. So I think, man, that's just amazing. And so I'm just excited to see everything that's to come for you, man, especially after kind of getting to know your story more and diving into it deeper. I'm just pumped, bro. So I appreciate you making it out here, making some time to jump on the podcast today. And guys, there you have it. Look, if you're someone right now that is on an offer, you're already selling something in the remote high ticket space and you're looking to maybe 2x or 3x your current commissions, then make sure, guys, you click on that first link in the description, okay? The first link. That's the one you want to click if you're on an offer right now. And you can talk to us and have a one-on-one conversation to see if maybe sales coaching with us makes a lot of sense for you or not. And look, if that's not you guys, if you're maybe kind of newer to the space, right? You're maybe not on an offer right now, and you're looking to be able to figure out how to get this started, then you definitely want to join our school community, right? It's on the school platform, and that's SKOOL. We're the Closers network inside of the school community. And that's where you want to go if you want to get 5 days of free live training, guys. 1 hour a day. Nobody does that. We're the only people out there that are giving you guys free value. And so you want to make sure you take advantage of that. And we also have a free course that you can get started with. So click the second link below if you want to do that. But other than that, Chris, thank you so much for making the time, brother. Appreciate having you here. It's been nothing but fun. So thank you.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes.
Lesson 2. It came back to me.
Okay.
Take care of your health and fitness.
There you go.
How you do anything is how you do everything. Quote Bedros. If your fitness and health is not right, you cannot put all the energy that's necessary to transfer into that prospect.
Let's end it there. Health is wealth. Let's do it. Thank you, guys. See you on the next episode.